And we are live.
What it do? What it do? What it do? Now, y'all already know. This is probably a lit weekend for me. I don't know what y'all got into. If you are or was on my story, I took the liberty of posting what I did for my birthday night. I actually went out to a VIP club. I went to Monaco in the
Okay.
VIP section. It's pretty lit. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
Okay.
just let me
You
tell you something.
party? You
Let me
turned
tell you something. Let
up?
me tell you something, right? I'm not a partier, which everyone knows. But it was really cool to like let my hair down, so to speak. I had a drink. I had maybe a drink. I had about 7 J's in the club. And in case you guys know, that's nothing. That's usual. They're like Sixxcess, 7 J's. That's nothing. Yeah, I know. I just hit 7 J's in the club and it was cool. But when I was leaving out, someone dropped some za on the ground and I had a chance to end up, getting some free za. That was really another good way to end off the night. I took some friends with me, and if y'all go to my story on my Instagram or Facebook, old book, whatever you guys call it, they were going ham in there, dancing around and everything. So it was a good night. It was a good night.
You
You know,
turned up.
yes. Now
Glad you enjoyed your birthday, Six. Because
let me
at
tell.
first you was like, I
Uh,
don't know.
Look, that wasn't the highlight of my evening, though. This was, guys. This was. Now everyone knows
What
that
is
I'm a
that?
backwood guy. However, Backwood doesn't give sponsorships. They don't do it. That's not their thing. However, I stumbled across a guy and he had a whole stack of these, maybe like 10 of them. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, "What are those?" Like that, like the shoes, right? I said, "What are those?" He said, "Backwoods." I said, "Well, I've never seen backwoods like that." He said to me, "That's because they're exclusive." I looked in a little closer, and as you guys can see right there, it says exclusive cigars. So then I was thinking to myself, I'm an
Oh.
exclusive kind of guy. Why haven't I had those before? So
Mhm.
then I read the back, and this is when I got really excited. It said, the rarest of rare backwood cigars, made from a unique and gone crop of select full body, blah, blah, blah. You guys can get it, blah, 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 right? Artisan tobacco growers then scrutinized again by our own tobacco experts and crafted to ugly perfection in the Dominican Republic. It's the best of the best. Now, I I I immediately cracked it open, and this is how you have to do so. This is how
Oh,
you have to do
yeah?
so, right? And
I'm excited to see what they look like.
like I'm not gonna lie, like I rolled up one already previously to the show because I didn't want to. I got these on my birthday, so they're gone. I saved one specifically for the show because I wanted to show you guys the backwood itself. I rolled it because I didn't want to roll up while I was on the air, but I wanted to do. I was gonna enjoy it with you guys. I'm gonna smoke out of it. I'm gonna while I tell you guys this exclusive story
Wait,
here.
don't put it away. Can we see what it looked like? Is it a pack?
It is one. It is literally just one pack in here.
Do you
This,
have a pack that's open? Does it look like a regular backwood?
yes, it does. It looks like a regular backwood. A regular.
Oh, okay.
It looks
What
like.
does it taste like? Because I like backwoods too. I
So
just
it actually tastes like a sweet backwood, so
Oh
to
yeah.
speak, like the original, right? However, what I if I had to take a guess, because I refuse to believe that backwood is doing something magical in the magical kingdom of backwood, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But what I if I had to say, what they were doing was, how usually they just throw five backs in the pack. Someone is going through that pack and saying, "Wait a second, we're gonna only get 5 great packs, right?" So, so, so see, so what we doing is cutting up early today. All
Hey
right,
Tony.
but but these here were exclusive, so I had to do this. Now, like I said, as you can see at the bottom, if you can see on the bottom, and I don't know how good the detail is, that looks like the sweet pack color,
Mm.
right? So it's the sweet flavor, the regular or the regular they would call
No, they're not the regular. The original are the chocolate is the chocolate brown pack, the one with no flavor, which is
it.
my favorite pack. And
The,
then you have the sweet aromatic pack.
yes. Now those are the best ones, and those are the OGs from in my hood. That black pack that they call that black bow pack, that one right there is a scary pack. Like that right there is like equivalent to the DMV's chocolate Dutch cigarellos. You know that you are a real live smoker when you smoking them chocolate cigarellos on them
Yeah.
Dutch jumps. Like that was some real OG stuff. And like Boss Biz, come on, I gotta tell you this, Jezebel. Smoking that black dark pack is gangster. That pack that I call the salt and pepper pack. You know, the
Uh-huh.
salt and pepper pack. I always like to make sure that no one picks that pack up for me. It's been picked up a few times out of desperation, and I was like, okay, all right, all right, all right.
What, the
Now,
dark pack?
yes, it has been
You
picked
don't
up a
like?
few
That's
times.
the only one I buy.
Now, see, like that pack is a scary pack for me. It's too like
It's
it's
harsh.
yeah, it's very harsh, and
Yeah.
you got to be like ready. But see, like you like sheets of funnel, and that's why I don't like sheets of funnel because it's harsh.
Okay.
You know, like and like so for me, backwoods are harsh only if rolled wrong.
See, I like them harsh. I needed to hit the thing, and the back of the throat. You know.
Okay, well, we're gonna pause for a second. We're gonna pause for a second for our sponsors. Right now, right now, I'm wearing some pad gear, the pad apparel, make more music, and Boss Biz is wearing the Boss Biz Entertainment shirts. We're gonna get those out for y'all soon, so y'all can purchase those, so y'all can start walking around in the
Definitely.
Boss Biz
I'm
shirts.
working on merch, guys. I'm working
No,
on it.
listen. Like, so let's go back into our weekend because yours was yours is a story too, and I'm leading up. I want to lead up to how everything popped off. So now I come across a strand called Gizmo.
Gizmo.
Now I gotta tell you guys, it's very rare that I hear strands that I've
Mhm.
never smoked. Right?
Okay.
Now, the thing is, when I heard the name Gizmo, I immediately thought about the Gremlins. And I said,
Ah.
I gotta have me some of that.
Mhm.
And I had to, of course, look and see what Gremlins was, guys, and so I could tell you guys that don't know. It is GMO
Mm.
cookies, it is Kim Dog, and also Girl Scout cookies.
I like him, dog.
Now, Kim Dog is great, Girl Scout
Mhm.
cookies is great, and
Yeah.
GMO cookies is awesome.
Nah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So if you get all of these together, then you can imagine that this is going to be something great. I said I want to wait until because you guys wasn't able to party with me on my birthday. I was going to wait until I got on the show to partake in that and be able to tell you all how it is.
Okay.
Now, ironically, guys, I usually wait until the end to do my Huffington Post, but I feel like because my birthday was surrounded around me testing a lot of weed. I mean, I got a lot of weed this weekend. Everybody from anywhere was flying me in, bringing me some weed, taking me to where I can get some weed, blah,
Uh
blah,
huh.
blah.
So what was
So
you smoking?
I ended up smoking on, let me go down my good old list. Now, this one strain is still in question. Was called the Simpson Springfield.
The
Uh,
Simpsons Springfield.
yes, that was an interesting take. I enjoyed it. There was another strand. He told me now, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I got me some ice cream gelato because I had to be safe with that. I also got me some wedding cake to be safe with that.
Yeah.
Now, there was this one strand in particular, and this is where my Huffington Post start. Because I like to start it off and let's go ahead and roll the cue the intro. It was Huff, 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 Huff. Don't bring it no more. I've had enough. Don't want it again. So he was sitting there and I was sitting there and I was walking out of the store with all my packs of backs because I knew it was going to be a good weekend. And I knew it was going to be a great weekend, so I went on ahead and started off early. I bought the whole box, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, he's sitting there in his car and he's like, yo, look at this. I got some Sunny D. I got this, and I got some gelato. I said, well, let me see. Let me see what you got. He says, if you're a night smoker, I'm best for that. I said, well, I'm an all-day smoker, but what do you mean by a night smoker? Right? He says, that means someone who don't like to smoke until after 5 o'clock because I'm only available after 5. Well,
Okay.
at first, I thought that was cool and very professional, but I'm learning that that was a red flag. That was a red flag. I should have known right
Why?
then. I should have known right then. I should have
but
known right then. Because
why? I don't get it.
I asked my good man, my good working man. I asked my good working man. I said, my good working man, well, what do you got and how much is it? He said, I can give you a half for $80. I usually charge 100. I said, well, what's that? Some like just regular good weed? Because that can't be za. He said, well, of course I got za too. I got anything you need, whatever you want, all flavors. I said, well, all right, well, let's just try them all. Gotta try them all. Right, that's what I did.
Uh-huh.
Don't quit your day job, sir. For one, if your day job isn't paying you to size them up and market them and amp them up, then you're in the wrong business. Because you sold me. You sold me, sir. I bought it. And I told him, I said, I got a show now. I got a show now. It's coming on Monday, 5 o'clock on YouTube. Now I said you need to tune in, put it on your phone, tune in, and I'm gonna let you know. Now, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. It had to be some type of sativa. He told me it was Sunny D, but it tastes a lot like Blue Dream. However, it may have been a sativa,
Mm-hmm.
but he told me it was Sunny D, which isn't a sativa, so I was a little thrown off. I really couldn't get to sleep, but I really couldn't get high either. So I had to revert back and mix it up. And I would like to say, like, you guys, I am a rapper type of guy. I really like rapper because it's like you know what you're gonna get, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then being where you're not from, you get scared to buy
Right.
just rapper because they pass it off as anything. I bought fake runts, which we
Mm-hmm.
call fronts. I bought fake cookies. I bought a lot of not like it's just not what they said it was, right? It's
Yeah.
probably just OG.
Mm-hmm.
And in the hunt for trees, you come across these things. So what I want to say, guys, for my Huffington Post, if you're riding down Flint or whatever they call, I guess Jonesboro or Tara or whatever, just don't stop there. Just keep on going. If you're
Hold on.
walking out
So,
on,
how many flavors did you get with Huff?
only the Sunny D was Huff.
Okay.
Actually, everything else I had was great.
Okay.
You know, but the Sunny D was what he was really promoting. That was really what he was promoting. That's his. He said that it was like za. He didn't even need za with this. He said I got the best non-Zosh weed around. That's what he told me. And when he gets off work at 5 o'clock, he'll have it available for the masses. Well, I like to tell him he can keep it and smoke it himself. No one else should take it. And until you do better and get better, you, my friend, gonna be on this week's Huffington Post. Now, Jezebel, when I got online, I seen you were not even in the country.
Kind of was just over the water. Yeah. So Sunny D only has 19% THC and 1% CBG. So maybe that's why it wasn't strong enough for you. I had to
Well,
look it up.
he probably only got one that was more on the 12 to 13% THC side.
But now
Little
I
bottom of the
was
barrel.
Viva la Puerto Rico. So of course, it's tourist season and I gotta get ready to celebrate my birthday. So I start early. I actually be starting on your birthday. Um
Smart, smart.
all the way up until the end of it. But Puerto Rico was nice, y'all. I came across some good weed.
Mm.
I want to say I came across some Huff, but I would be lying. The Banana Kush, however, was not as strong as it could have been for
Right.
an indica smoker, but it was still good. I came across, of course, some ice cream cake, and then Dreamcatcher,
Oh,
and is it OG 15 or OG 13? One of the two. I don't remember. And then two other strains that I smoked that I didn't purchase, so I don't remember the names. But the weed was pretty good. The weather was nice, and yeah, beautiful people.
yeah. You listen. Um, I only been up the country one time to three countries on a cruise. I lost my mind on the fourth day. Now,
What do you mean?
so I told my wife I don't think that I like sleeping out of my bed
For too
more
long.
than 4 days. After
Mm-hmm.
fourth day, I'm like, trip's over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, which is scary because when touring happens, right? A lot of people ask me how I've only really toured the East Coast, up and down the East Coast, right? And my longest tour lasted me a year.
Mm-hmm.
However, I really every city I was supposed to be in for like 2 or 3 days after the shows, and after the press runs, I would get back in the car and drive back home, right? That's why I would just like always want to take my own car. So
Yeah.
when I went out of the country, I lost my mind. I was like, oh my God, I want to go home. I don't want to sleep in this bed any
Yeah,
longer.
no, no, no. I definitely feel that. I get homesick. I travel a lot, but I get homesick. Like after 3 days, I think 3 days is my mark. After 3 days, I kind of be like, my bed would be nice right now. Um, but then I just keep drinking and I'll be fine.
Uh, uh. So now, while we were enjoying our weekend and we were having a great time, I mean, like you were living la vida loca. I was, I don't know where I was. You know what I'm saying? I woke up today and I was like, oh shit, it's Monday. You know, and I was like, yeah, man. Everything like now, my Mondays are like, Tony, what I need an air mattress. He want me to get accustomed to sleeping on an air mattress. I sleep on a king size therapeutic bed that is very nice and costs me and the wife a lot of money. I can't take that with me everywhere. Listen, I hate it when I had to move here. I had one king size bed, right? Like a posturepedic temperature regulator. And I was like, shit,
Bad bougie, are we?
I yes, because okay, so I watched this documentary with my good friend Steve Harvey. I like to watch rich people, right?
Uh huh.
As Steve Harvey said, he said, listen, I don't care what you buy in your house. If you are in the position and you trying to come up and you trying to like really like take care of yourself and get out of everything, invest in your bed. If you invest in nothing else, invest in your bed because you need your sleep to be ready for the world that you got to accomplish every day for the things you got to accomplish. I don't get to be in my bed that often. I mean, I get to bed about 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm up by about 6, 7 o'clock. So when I'm down in there, I like to be nice and comfy, you know? So when I wake up, I don't be all pissed off. So yeah, when I bought that bed, when I was moving, I said, "Look, that bed can't go." I bought a bigger bed this time. I bought another king one, but it was had extra layers to it. It's supposed to be more comfy,
Uh
maximize my sleep, whatever they say.
huh.
I wasn't moving with that shit. Movers, please. So I'm not carrying no bed. But while we were having a great time this weekend, and indeed we were, did you see my man DJ Quick losing his mind? Have you seen the video, Jezebel?
No, I have not seen the video. Six.
So Jezebel DJ Quick, me and DJ Quick got one thing in common. We hate checks. I don't like a check no
Fuck a
more
check.
than the next man. Fuck a check. Pay me in direct deposit or cash. You know what I'm saying? However it comes, right? But DJ Quick took his check rage to an all-time new level and put his check on the grill. He says to Death Row Records, fuck this check, and I quote DJ Quick, not my language, but he was ready to burn it all. He burnt the check on the grill, claiming and citing that it wasn't enough. It wasn't actually what he was owed. He did not show how much the check was. Everyone has been asking that. He did not show. He did not say. Now, I found that to be one of the most hilarious acts in a long time, right? Because now I too have thought to burn a check because it wasn't enough.
Mm.
I too
Snap, don't check.
have snapped on checks.
Hey, do not pay Sixxcess in checks, okay?
So,
Please.
so
No.
when I saw that, I was thinking to myself, why didn't I think of this? Why did I think of the grill my check?
Setting it
Put
on
some
fire.
barbecue sauce on it and season it on up, right? Whew. But it also got me to asking another question, Jezebel. What does DJ Quick think he's owed and why?
You said, what does he think he's owed and why?
Yes.
I see. I didn't even really.
Yes,
I'm
you
not
yeah,
abrupt on the
yeah,
situation. So for me, I think like so far he feels like he didn't get credit for. I'm looking at 5 tracks, six
yes.
tracks.
Yeah.
Nelly Hot in here, Kendrick Lamar, Ken Kunta, R. Kelly. He ain't gonna get shit for that. R. Kelly, Home Alone, and Tupac, All Eyes on Me, In the Club by 50 Cent, and If I Can't.
Now, I would like to point everybody to Exhibit A. On these records, he claims that he did the drums. Okay? Now, I would like to point to these records in question. Does anybody hear just drums on these records? And I mean, like the rapper is just rapping over just drums.
No,
Okay.
very rare, very rare.
Yeah, so those drums are a part of instruments that are part of several instruments played in one said song.
Mm.
Now, there's a producer that I know, and I don't want to put his name out there, but I do know his checks prior to COVID every quarter on royalties were hitting 250K, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was prior to COVID. Artists were really working, things were going crazy good, blue, blue, blue. Well, COVID happened, and all those artists he produced for, they decided to stay home. They said, why
Mm.
go on tour? I don't want to do anything. I'm good where I'm at. I made money. I'm going to sit home and chill out.
Mm.
And he got his COVID royalty checks. And he was $5,000. Now, he didn't cry. Well, actually, he called me and said, hey, my royalty check was $5,000. I said, well, did you call the label? He called the
Mm.
label. He called the label and said, yeah, everyone's not working. It's COVID. And I said, well, there you go. If no one's working, how are you getting paid? Now, isn't it ironic that I told you guys months ago, that more and more artists are going to start complaining because COVID is affecting their money.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? Listen, like, y'all got to look at it like this, right? I want y'all to understand one thing or two things. When you work with an artist and as a producer or producer as an artist, and you guys work and collab on a project, whenever you guys work, whether it be A and B destination or A and C destination, wherever y'all at, even if it's A and A, y'all both get paid. Now, if A is not working and B and C are working still, A still gets paid because
Mm-hmm.
that's what they're doing. They all connected. It's a circle of life when you work together. But now, here you have one not working and others working, and you're receiving checks and you're happy as hell because you're associated to all these working artists. You know, a lot of these big name artists y'all see complaining now, right now from 2020 and 2021, they all were getting credits from people that they work with. So they didn't care. Like when you ask why they're not as big or why they're not working, well, because They got that one big placement. They got that Grammy nomination. They got that platinum record from something that they wrote, and they sat back and they got comfy, right? So
Mhm.
now B isn't working either. Now you're saying what you really worth. And I want y'all to understand something. What you really worth is what you bring in when everything is stopped, no matter what, right? It's
Yeah.
like what you make when you out there hustling and bustling is always subject to increase or decrease based on the situations that you take and the level that you are, right? But
Right.
when you not working and that shit is still just coming in constantly, boop, 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 you starting to know what you're worth, right? So now
Mhm.
when um producers are not working or artists are not working and they starting to see that those checks that they used to getting, because mind you, the music industry, just like any industry that you make it to a point where other people are viewing you or using you for entertainment, rather, you know, when you get into those type of situations like that, you become in the whole spectrum. You know what I'm saying? You become a whole spectrum and a little
Mhm.
spotlight on you, right? So
Right.
you start working it like, huh, I see, I see something a little different. I'm he's not working either. So dang. So now we're getting all these artists complaining, and it's really getting interesting. So now, what are these artists gonna do? I mean, they ain't gonna get placements. Not after complaining out like that. No one gonna really work with you like that.
So
And
does he deserve anything for playing the drums?
so I mean, the question is, what is anything? He received the check based on whatever the system calculated that he was owed.
What system?
Okay, now that is what's interesting because so if he received his check in this is April, so that had to be his writer's check,
Uh huh.
right? Because if he received this in it's his April check, that's his writer's check. Now, what he doesn't understand is that's also his writers, that's his probably his writers and publishing side all in one check because it's to the label, Death Row Records. So what happens is how these checks work, the publishing companies, the international side, they all receive the checks to pay out the artists. You know what I'm saying? So if he's signed to Death Row Records and all these records are done through Death Row Records or whatever labels they go through, the labels get paid and they tally up the percentages and then they
Okay.
cut the check to the artist based
Okay.
on, you know what I'm saying, the based on the doings and the records that are accumulated for the quarter that is the payout. So right now, this payout was for everything done in June, July, and September of last
Okay.
year, right?
Uh huh.
So that was in the peak of COVID. That was when everything literally was whoop, nothing, nothing happened, right?
Mhm.
So when they go back and they accumulate all the streams, all the shows, everything from that quarter, I mean, can you run down those 5 records again that he was that he was saying?
One of them is Kendrick Lamar. With Kendrick Lamar, King Kunta, Nelly, Hot in Here. Now that song is old as shit. So,
Yeah.
R. Kelly, Home Alone, Tupac, All Eyes on Me, 50 Cent, In the Club, and If I Can't.
So I definitely know last summer while we were sitting at home for COVID, not one of those songs were on the radar. So that's why when I say what is he owed? What because we don't know. What is his percentage? What did he think his percentage is?
He won production credits.
I get that. And all this, that's what he's paid, but that's what he was paid. And this is what's interesting. If he wasn't paid for those, if he said he wasn't paid for those records,
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so he also said, and this is according to um, what is this? N NME News. So basically, he said he want all his money. He said he want. This is him quoting. So I want my real money, and I want all my credits for everything I did in this industry. He said all the songs, including "Hide in Here." He said he want his credit for that being in "Get Naked."
Okay, so that's why I think what I think that DJ Quick is really saying is not about money owed. I think that me and DJ Quick agree on one thing. Don't pay me in a check. I want cash. Come down here, bring me cash. You know I can't get jiggy with this. What is he supposed to
Mhm.
do? Put that in his bank account? Come on, man. Nah, man. So, Jezebel, like I said, the world has been going crazy. You were out of the you were across the water. I was partying, and while we were doing these things, people were saying things that got my engines going. Now, I was really wondering what I really wanted to talk about today. It wasn't a lot of music stuff. And like
Mhm.
everyone knows, like I've been staying away from a lot of the socially stuff because like I said, like with the things that we working on and the things that we actually doing and want to do, like get that social stuff. Like everyone knows where we stand. That's on our social medias. We step up for that every day, like that, right? But I want to talk about things that really like help us as people like elevate and get our stuff together. Like not as just people like black people, but I'm talking about indie artists, right? Like indie people, entrepreneurs, because everything that I say, and as far as this music business goes, it relates and correlates to everything that you do in life. And the
Mhm.
sad thing is, like, that's why I explain it like I do, right? Because I'm like, let's just be real. If you want to be at the top of your business, at the top of your company, you want to be a manager, you want to be the supervisor, you want to be the boss of your company, there's certain protocols and steps that you're going to have to take. And if
Right.
you don't take those protocols or steps, then you're going to just be a worker. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, the music industry and working in regular jobs, it's all the same. It's industry. The working industry, music industry, entertainment industry, acting industry, whatever the case may be. We all got the same obstacles that if we don't take care of our paperwork, if we don't take care of our records, if we don't take care of our money, we ain't gonna be successful. We
Right.
ain't gonna make anything. And the measure of success is ours to measure, right? Now, a lot of people say, how do you think you're successful, or do you think you're successful? And I told you, someone asked me, did I think that I was on? And I had to laugh. I was like, what is on? I mean, I'm certainly not off. if we're asking
Right.
if we're asking anything, I'm certainly not off. But one thing that's been coming up this weekend, Jezebel, the term DMV, the claim DMV, what is it? Where did it come from? Who is really the DMV and who is not?
That's
Now,
been a serious debate for a while now, though.
it has been. And I had to say, the question was asked to me is was asked on Facebook, is Baltimore considered the DMV?
No.
I specifically said no as well. I went into a lot of reasons why it's not. I also specifically said that I didn't like the fact that Chris Brown was able to use the fact that he was from the DMV when, in fact, Tappahannock is nowhere near the DMV. It's kind of like weird. So all of Virginia is in, but all of Maryland is not in, and DC is the core of it all. Now, a lot of 20 Bellows, he said that he is the inventor of the word.
All right, hold on 1 second. I gotta turn this up. All right, did it go away?
Nope.
Why am I acting like that? Hold on 1 second.
So like 2 trays. But like I was saying, man, we
My
we
bad.
coming back. Nah, you all good. You all
My
good.
phone was dying, y'all. I had to switch up.
Hey, switch up. That's all
Okay.
good.
I like
But
this anyway.
what was trippy to me was like 20 Bellows, and he's a good friend. He's cool artist. Well, he says he's a retired artist now of Bellow Burn, the hot sauce company. He said that he is the originator of the term DMV. He
What's
said
his
it
name?
was 20 Bello.
20 Belly.
Yeah. Then I also had Lee Ferguson tell me that he's the originator of the term DMV. Now, I don't know who the originator of the term DMV is or isn't, but what's amazing is the denial that the DMV continues to use. Right? Now, this is my problem with any type of. This is where I stand. And I guess it's not really a problem, but this is just where I stand. There's a strong thing about repping your city. There's a strong power even about having your state behind you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, cities like New York, they like to have New York behind them. Of course, you want New York behind you, right? You want the state of Cali behind you. You want Texas behind you.
Mm-hmm.
You want Atlanta or Georgia behind you, right? Now, the thing about it is, what y'all don't understand is these are big, big states where if you can win over that state, you've won over millions of fans. And we're not gonna sit up here and play like we don't know why the term DMV was started, right?
Right.
Like, I don't care what anybody say. Like, I posted on my page with 20 Bellows' response, and I know it was his response to me, you know what I'm saying? But I posted his response to me on my page, and
Mm-hmm.
he felt like I didn't have the right to determine or define what DMV means or why it was made. Well, guess what, guys? That's what Sixxcess does. I like to pull what we call the wool from over the people's eyes. We know why we call it DMV.
The DMV is really the Washington metropolitan area. Okay.
Yep.
So that's what DMV. If the metro does not run to your area, then you are not a part of the DMV. Meaning the train goes from Shady Grove all the way to I forgot the other side, but anywhere along there. So Silver Spring, Glenmont, that's the DMV. If you're on the yellow line and you live all the way out there by Dulles Airport, that's still the DMV because the train actually goes there. If our train, like Germantown, there's no train that goes to Germantown. It's not the DMV. So I think, or I know for a fact, that the DMV is the Washington metropolitan area. So if it's not on that train map, we can't get to you from there, then you're not.
Yeah, yeah. Because listen, I find it. This is what I find funny. You're 1,000% right because when Wale was saying that he's from the DMV, the first thing everybody wanted to say out of spite was no, he's from Oka. That was out of spite.
No, when he said he was from DC, that's what the big issue was back then. And the reason I'm so adamant about that is because when he came out, I was like, oh, I ain't really care for his music too much. And I was like, hell no, I ain't from DC. You know,
Right,
so
right, right.
but
But he said he was.
Montgomery County is the DMV unless you're in Germantown. So if you're in White Oak, that's Montgomery County. That's DMV.
White Oak.
White Oak, Maryland. The K6 runs there from
Yeah.
Fort Todd. That's the DMV. That's
Richmond?
still, huh?
Richmond?
No,
Just
no, we
test.
can't get
Cause
there on
I find it
the metro.
I find it ironic that only time you hear artists like Missy or Pharrell who are from Virginia Beach say they ain't from the DMV is when they're campaigning something in the DMV.
But you know what? I don't kind of get upset. Like I don't care for it, but I don't. I'm not really against it because you're shedding some type. You're shedding some type of light, and it's hard to sit there and be like, oh no, I'm not from the DMV. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. But I thought DMV stands for DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So how are you not from the D? You know what I'm saying? Then they got to sit there and explain it. So I think they just lump themselves into something that's popular as
Well,
opposed to,
like when they got on, DMV wasn't popular. It
yeah.
wasn't the thing. It was
Mm-hmm.
either DC, Maryland, or Virginia.
Virginia.
And it was always been Maryland or Baltimore. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
you from Maryland or you from Baltimore, right? Like,
I never got that.
and the thing about it is, I never did either until when you visit Baltimore and you see that there's a dress difference, there's a
Yeah.
language difference. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Like
Swag different.
and like it was funny is now I live in Atlanta, right? But when my wife is from Georgia, her side is from like Crescent, Georgia, like that side, Savannah type side. They don't even they're from Georgia. They don't say they're from Atlanta, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? But people from like College Park, Decatur,
Mm-hmm.
Fayetteville, stuff like that, they all say they're from Atlanta. Right?
Right.
Now, like I said before, the wolf from over the houses, the whole DMV term came up because there is strength in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if you win the DMV, even if you win DC, that's not enough to make you a dent in the industry. If you win Maryland by itself, it's not enough to not in hip hop.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe like in pop music or rock music and things like that, where you got like Charlotte Webb and things like that. They, you know what I'm saying, that can happen, right? But I'm talking about this industry that most of us are in, rap game, right? It's different for that, right? So
Yeah.
I know for a fact that it's about association. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And it's about being able to like easier be easy, like you said, like for me to come out and say, yeah, I'm from Forestville. I'm from Forestville. And the first one, where's that? Where's that? And I got back near DC, like right by DC. Oh, I know DC. You know what I'm saying? If I come out
Yeah.
and be like, I'm from Maryland, they say, oh, Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Like, nah, I'm not from Baltimore. Like that's the first one. Like, no, not Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? Not that part,
Uh-huh.
not there, not up there. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's easy to just like, yeah, I'm from the DMV. Boom.
Yeah.
You know, of course, the most major cities they are not afraid to rep their city. You know, and then
Yeah.
of course the bigger states are not afraid to rep their state.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And DMV for association purposes and to put where we need to be and you know and put everything in perspective because it's
Mm-hmm.
like shoot we have to travel to Maryland, we have to travel to Virginia, we have to work in DC if we really want to make a name for ourselves. Because
Yep.
if an artist is just working in DC and they're talking about him right across the line, which is like 5 minutes a walk,
Mm-hmm.
a 2 minute walk across the
Yeah.
line, they're like, who? Who's that? But he's the
Mm-hmm.
biggest name in DC. Like, who's that? And vice
Mm-hmm.
versa for a Merlin artist. They're like, who's that? You know what I'm saying? Until you
Yeah.
worked all three of them that tri area, then nobody even knows or cares. And it's sad because it's in that one area.
Yeah.
But you know, so yeah, we know why we say DMV, guys. We know why we
Mm-hmm.
say DMV. I don't know who originated it. I don't know who created it. All I know is I'm glad they did because it was the smartest move for the DMV. Period. Now, if the DMV could associate and organize the same way the name has, then maybe, just maybe, we'll start seeing some changes.
I think more so for entertainment purposes. I had seen a post that said if the DMV supported each other like Atlanta, we'd be just as big. And that's true. Like you said, everybody don't live in Atlanta. You could live an hour out, but when you're supporting Atlanta, so for us in this area, we don't have to all stand behind just DC. We need to stand behind the DMV. Is what you're saying.
Correct. And that's where the
But if
problem
somebody asks
comes
me
in.
where I'm from, I'm telling them I'm from DC because that's where I'm from.
Of course. I mean, that's where I was born. That's what
Facts.
my social security says and my ID says. You know what I'm saying? But like the thing about it is the
Yeah,
other
high source developer. Who's a high source developer?
nah, he's not. No, he's that now. That's actually one of his businesses now. Like actually, so let me give everybody a little background about Tony Bello because Tony Bellows is a pioneer. Tony Bellows is one of those. He was one of the very first artists to like break the doors down to like bring in artists from Virginia, from Baltimore, from Maryland into like all one venue. You know what I'm saying? And everybody showcasing their talents and things like that. He just he now does hot sauce and barbecue sauce and things like that. That's Bello Burn and other joint ventures. And he's a real OG in the game. So shout out Bellows. You know what I'm saying? Like and facts, the opinions kind of don't. You know what I'm saying? They're not what we're talking about because I don't really care about opinions. But I do want to I like to talk about things that are popping. And this week, that was very interesting because I saw the post that one artist posted, and he was saying that he lives in Laurel. So does he count? And I was like, yes, you totally count that you live in Laurel. You're in the DMV,
Mhm.
but let's just be real, you know what I'm saying, about where we are. Now,
But is Laurel technically the DMV though?
yes, Laurel counts. Laurel counts. Listen, like my theory on the DMV, it's
It
crazy.
does actually because it's close to Greenbelt. Okay, all right, cool.
And there's a metro bus to go out there. You can get on the metro bus to go down Cherry Hill and all that good stuff.
What about Annapolis? Where does Annapolis fall?
And see, that's weird because Annapolis would have to fall under the DMV, but no one's gonna come out and be like, "Yeah, I'm from Annapolis," unless they're white. Got to be a white rapper to be like, "Yeah, you're repping Annapolis, Maryland." And you know what's gonna happen to him? He gonna get on our show and we're gonna be like, "So you from the DMV, right?" You know what I'm about?
Waldorf is definitely the DMV to me, but that see
See,
that's like so like where do we?
see, the thing about it is, we draw the line realistically, subconsciously. We draw the line in what's real life when you don't feel like driving no more. Like if a nigga be like, "Yo, we going to Waldorf," you like, "All right, cool." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if he hit you with "Let's go to La Plata," you like, "Nigga, you trying to get me out of town?"
But that's right around the corner. So what?
Yeah, but technically, another good 30 more minutes. Good 30 more minutes, you out of town. You can start debating if you gonna grab a hotel or not.
Yeah.
If it get too late, you know what I'm saying? If it gets too late, you gotta start debating if I'm gonna grab a hotel or not. Then you are no longer in the DMV. And there's been plenty of times in Baltimore, you know what I'm saying? There's been certain parts of Baltimore when you get this too far back. You get this too far back. Like Jessup and all that stuff, they just make it because they right before it. But I mean, when I get to Arundel Mills and shit like that, I'm like, ugh. And for real, I think that it goes. I don't think that it goes about where you like. Let's just say we all say everybody's our gang, right? We say the whole
Mhm.
world's our gang, whole world Ballsby's gang. But if one of those people say, I'm not Boss Biz Gang, then we can't keep throwing them in there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And
that's true.
that's how I feel about B More. Like if B More says we're not DMV, we're B More, then they're B More. They're not DMV.
They are be more. I mean,
Yeah, they are. They are. And
yeah, they.
we can't keep on making people just wanna we can't just keep making people
Well,
wanna leave.
who's making Baltimore the DMV? Why? Because it's Maryland.
That's what I'm guessing. And like Tony Bello said, it was just made up for networking purposes. And Lee Ferguson, let me get his radio station. Well, he's probably not on that radio station no more. But he said him and I don't even feel like looking for it. But him and another DJ, they used to say it on their radio show all the time during rush hour. And it was just like a DMV thing because they were talking to DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Me personally, I don't care why it is. I know for a fact that, let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you what's scarier in this industry. People are more scared of you saying you're from DC, right, than anything. Because there's a stigma. There's a stigma on that. That's been since the 80s and early the crack era, right?
Right.
There's a stigma on DC in the music industry. And I don't know how true these stories go, so I have to start them off allegedly. But allegedly, a lot of DC gangsters used to go up and rob niggas from the industry up in New York and wherever they could, pretty much, right? And
Okay.
everybody in the world knew they were from DC. So it became a thing like, okay, no DC niggas allowed. No DC allowed outright in the industry. Because they're going to rob us. They're going to smile in our face and put the gun out. So they became like blacklisted, right? So now in comes the go-go era because house you can't express yourself to get on anymore. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop wise,
Right.
you know. So now you got go-go, which was like a funk fusion and things like that. Then you get an artist who thinks genius. Like, wait a minute. If everybody loves go-go, let me use it to try to see if I can get us in there, right? Once, and of course, he's the guy that gets go-go in the door, but then he's corn, and it's like, oh man, you know. So now he's our representation, right? He's our representation. Like it's like, oh no, this is not good. You know, so this is not good. So now that sets back a whole nother set, right? Because now, like I said, you're the first rapper to use go-go to be able to try to get back in the door. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, this is a different sound. You know, but then again, like I told everybody that want to debate me on it, go-go is about the music. Like, it's never about the lyrics. So if you don't know the business to make that stuff work, it's not going to be. I mean, we all know Wale's best music that he sold the most on was not the stuff he used go-go on, but that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? That's what got him in the door because the crowds, the lifestyle, the effect that go-go has on people. You see a Wale video back in the day with him closing out the show after that band and got everybody all hot, sweaty, and rowdied up. You know what I'm saying? And he comes out there at the end of the night, and all you see on video is everybody still hot and sweaty and dancing all over the place. They don't even care who the rapper is on stage, really. But the label don't know this. You know, the label don't know this. They don't know that people there to see go-go. They don't even care. You know? But see, go-go didn't use that situation like that. So we already know the DC music is what when you think of DC music, people think you do go-go. And every DC artist, unfortunately, to stay true to DC, they jump behind or in front of a go-go band. Every DC artist tries it. Let me jump in front of this go-go band. Let me be with this go-go band, put a go-go band together. And then they put themselves with a bunch of singers, and some of the singers that can really sing, but then when it comes down to it, they mess up the best possible trying to play over, trying to perform over was not meant for them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a go-go would be just as good without people on the mic, with just somebody on the mic chanting you up and hyping you up.
I for me, not so much because so I go see Backyard and I love when Los get the rapping or like when Big G says like a couple bars, like Big G's like the crowd hyper, but Los get on there and spit his bars and like even Shooters, ABM, he get on there and he be spitting like, so.
Do they have an album, like a real album though?
What do you mean?
Do those artists have real albums? Shooter, do they have like a project that we can listen to some of their music without the band?
I think so. I believe so.
Yeah, I want to check them out.
I know Los do because he had one. It dropped like in 2012 because I was in one of the music videos. So I know he had put out some music years ago, like just a regular hip hop album. Because he's a rapper. So, okay. But as far as Shooters, I'm not sure, but I think he should as well.
I see. Shout out my man Tokyo Crow. He's with a go-go band now. That's pretty cool. But like me personally, that's what the DC artists do. You know what I'm saying? That's their thing. They do that. Merlin artists, you know what I'm saying? They really try to be a lot about the music and stuff like that. But most of them don't really get the business down like that, which is weird because they're too busy trying to impress the DC area. And DC is go-go, and Maryland is not really. It's like you can listen to go-go, but that's not really like where it is. So you get the people that's close to the border of DC. When they start making music, they immediately start trying to find their way to fit into the go-go crowd and get that type of crowd and get that type of essence. And they neglect all the people that's way back in Maryland. Mm-hmm. That's way back in Maryland that ain't really hip to go, that want some music, some pop music, some good music like that. So that's how the DMV gets like that. In Virginia, the same way. When they get close to that area, because they're not going to travel that hour back into Richmond and Virginia Beach. They're not going to travel that 3 hours there. They're going to come into DC, so they have to adjust. Mm-hmm. Well, they don't have to. They choose to adapt to the district sound, which is still not industry ready yet. And why isn't it industry ready? And a lot of people think this because of music, but I'm going out on a limb and say it's just a business. Working with go-go bands is probably hard. Trying to get a go-go band signed and everybody on one accord and everybody agreeing to their purpose. When the music industry is based on the vocalists, right? And go ahead, hear me out. And the go-go industry is based on the music. When it goes to negotiating time, they're never going to be negotiating. The musicians make more than the artists. And the artist is happy with that. But the musicians ain't. So in that case, those ain't getting done.
Also originality. My biggest thing with go-go in general is that it's mostly covers. So it's how do you get paid off of covers?
I mean, wow, all the musicians are working. All of the musicians the industry are using. They will come in and pick up a Steve Johnson. They will pick up a Bug. You know what I'm saying? They will pick up a Maurice. They will bring them on their shows and pay them handsomely to open up for big name artists, but they will not bring up the acts that are performing. They will not bring up the vocalists. They don't bring up the artists. But when was the last go-go artist they brought up? But we all can name a go-go musician that plays in the industry, and most of them are working and making a lot of money in the industry. Mm-hmm. That's why they don't care for the industry, because it's like, I'm already getting the industry bag. Like every time they perform, they need me. When they live, they need me. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, DC musicians are probably some of the best musicians in the game. Yeah. But we talk about records. Like there ain't live records being made.
I have to look into that. What do you mean live records? Like them actually
Like back in the day,
recording it?
Like the Temptations used to have the records live. You know, like back in the day, Temptations.
Yeah, they have them. So I don't know about all the bands, but I know that you can actually buy a CD with them actually playing live.
Yeah,
Like that,
I see them starting to do. I see them starting to do it now. I see them starting to do that. I see
they're
them
bringing
starting to
it
do it.
back. They're bringing it back. Cause
But is it covers? Is
I
it
get
covers?
go CDs, huh?
Are they covers?
Some songs.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Um,
no, Backyard has this awesome Christmas song. It's a couple of songs on that last disc, and some of those are original. So they're getting better.
all right, I'm
They're
gonna check them out.
adding more originality to the.
I've been looking them up on Spotify. Said if any like go pops up on Spotify, and usually it's not really anything.
You'll get probably Red Essence. They do more original stuff. Of course, EU and Sugar Bear, they just got the shout out by Glenn Close. Now let's talk about this. Does Glenn Close really know anything about Go-Go?
Now
Knowing about,
that
or
it,
did they rehearse that line? Because she shouted out Backyard Band too.
Glenn Close. Let's make sure that we're on the same page. Is that the old white lady that's an actress?
Yes, from 101 Dalmatians.
Okay, I was about to say from 101 Dalmatians, Cruella de Vil.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct.
I have to say that Cruella de Vil probably knows that song.
Of course, I mean it's a big song.
She's probably in a movie though that's coming out that's going to have that in there.
That would be interesting because she did shout them out, and I thought it was nice that she shouted out Backyard Band. But then I was like, did they give her reading cards?
Hey,
but
that's interesting. I would really like to see what. Listen, like I would really like to see what Glenn Close is working on. Backyard can be really big, especially with G's status. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I don't know what Go-Go is and where it stands, but I hear that it's now the official sound, official music of DC, that Mayor Bowser made it a law or a bill. Now, I was rather interested and intrigued by Ms. Bowser's decision to make this a bill. And I often wanted to ask, why the waste of ink?
The waste of ink on what?
Even signing a bill that makes Go-Go the official music of DC. I mean, like,
why would she do
does
that?
She think someone is going to steal it? She thinks someone is going to come along 10 years later and steal Go-Go from DC?
Probably. You never know.
Well, let me tell y'all one thing for sure.
Well, she's probably protecting this history for what she can't.
I'm going to tell y'all one thing for sure. If any state, any other place besides DC is able to come in, steal Go-Go, and make it mainstream before DC, right? Before the DMV area. I'm going to keep saying that from now on. Before the DMV area. It will furthermore, and it will definitely, and I hope it opens you all's eyes to what I've been saying on this show. Got to get your business straight, because it ain't no reason why, if anybody feels like this is big enough to be on a mainstream level and it needs to be to the next point, then why haven't nobody done what it takes to get it there?
It's getting around though, Six. Like Go-Go's, like they're becoming more nationwide now, and even so much as so is trying to go overseas. So they're trying, but then it's also, people don't really listen to that. Like it's a selective amount of people that likes instruments, that just want to hear the instruments. So it's all about finding that crowd. It may never go mainstream. I like the fact that you got to come here to get the experience for real, unless it's something going on somewhere else. Like it's something that stamps DC. Like, yeah, I went to DC. I went to one of them go-go things, like it's a part of the experience. So I actually like that it's staying here, but then I wish it could be. Well, I know that it's spreading nationwide, so I can't really say it's because they do shows everywhere. I've been to a go-go in Miami, I've been to a go-go in West Virginia. So
yeah, but yeah. Yeah, West Virginia is definitely lit. I've seen go-go bands travel down there. And
so
go-go
it's
bands
like
definitely
they
travel. Go-go
trying
bands travel to North Carolina and stuff like that.
all the
Atlanta.
time.
They've been down here in Atlanta a lot.
They're trying to get it, but it's also a sound. Like where they should go, where they would do really, really well is Tennessee. Because blues and jazz, the funk, like that
It's
type of.
also it's like one thing I found working with a band was it's hard for everybody to be on the same page. It's hard for everybody to want the same thing. If y'all got a perfect sound and two people don't want to move, then yeah, beating your feet is really spread out. Like it's starting to really catch. Thank you, man. Yes, yes.
He
It's
looks familiar.
I like honestly, guys. I've been playing the devil's advocate on this go-go thing, and reason being because I want to light a fire under the asses.
Yeah.
Like I don't like the fact that we are not addressing the elephants in the room. I don't like the fact that we don't address the elephants in the room when it comes to the term DMV. I don't like the fact that we don't address the elephants in the room when it comes to the term supporting each other. I don't like the fact that we don't address the elephants in the room when it comes to any of these things. You know what I'm saying? Our music, our cores, our values, and why, like, come on, like, for the last hour, I just sat here and I said things that I hear in rooms, and I'm like, oh my God, this is what people are saying, right? And like I don't want to get on the air and be like, yeah, they said this, they said that, and I don't want to post things when I post them on my Facebook like, oh yeah, they said this, they said that, because I want to actually I want people to hear it coming out of my mouth the way that I hear it coming out of people's mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like it's real. These are the battles that we have to go against. Like sadly is we all ask ourselves the same question. Why I'm not where I want to be? Why I'm not, I ask myself that every day. But guess what? I played the same game for like 6 years. I was one of those artists who said, I want to be an artist. And I got sucked into what DC, you know what I'm saying? Because whenever I say I'm from Forestville, Maryland, it's like, where? You automatically got to say DC, close to DC. Because if you say you're from Maryland, Baltimore? Nah. Forestville's like close to DC. You know what I'm saying? So you just get caught up like that. And then it's like the first thing everyone is asking is, where you at in DC? Where are you performing in DC? And then you start getting shows to accommodate those questions, right? And then when you get into those shows, the first thing you start seeing is the DJs either playing mainstream music or some go-go, and the go-go really gets them going.
Yeah.
But yet you as an artist from that area, and I'm not gonna sit up here and keep on blaming artists and stage presence and performances, because I see some artists that really on stage blood, sweat, and tears, and everybody's just in their phone waiting for their mans to go up, or you know what I'm saying, or promoters are shading them
You know
because
what that is though? Do you know what that is? Beat selection.
yes.
If your beat does not make me go like this, or makes you go like this, or if you walking down the street, you know how you hear beat, you like, damn,
You,
who's playing that music? Then
But
you ain't gonna catch a crowd. You playing, you making music
you
for.
you know when that I used to think that too, Jezebel, right? I used to think it was beat selection until there was artists like Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole.
They have good. I like
Like
their music.
they have excellent music, but that proves to us that that funk weird sound and all that weird music that Kendrick Lamar makes is acceptable, and it also proves to us that that lo-fi sound and that skateboard, you know, what I'm saying lo-fi chill music is also acceptable. So when you see another artist get up there and he performing off a lo-fi vibe, a lo-fi feel, it shouldn't be like, oh, this is boring. But this is the same.
But
This is the
that's
same.
still, cause you can have a lo-fi sound and it still be bang, like it's
But
still
it's status though.
catchy.
That's 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 true. But it's status and it's what artists are allotted to afford, right? Because an artist in the beginning of the game, his music is not gonna bump the club
Why not?
unless because there's things he doesn't know, right? Unless he's reared by someone that knows these things and is grooming him properly, he's going. Every artist, every artist is jumping into a dot is jumping into the water.
Okay. And I'm about to do you one better. So at the We Lit DMV showcase, there was one artist that was there, and that was his first time performing.
Yeah,
And he actually opened the show. But his song was like his beat, the beat to his song, like the song itself. I don't even think people cared what he was saying. It was the beat. He didn't even have too much stage presence. That's why I'm not even gonna put his name out there. Like to me, watching him, I was like, dang, he could have did this, he could have did that. But the crowd received him. Everybody stopped, was like, hey, like, okay, all right,
right.
we'll get first performance. So to me, it is the music. It's the music. First of all, because that's the first thing people hear before you say, yo, 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 how y'all doing tonight? The first thing they hear is, then you be like, yo, yo, yo. So your music gotta be to some form of catchy or interesting. Like even with her music or SZA music. Like when
Right,
it
right.
comes on, you're interested to know what's that next sound that's going to come on. So you're paying attention
Right.
as opposed to something that come on. You're like, oh, not this hocus pocus
But but
bullshit.
but Jezebel, in the DMV, like you you you're like okay, you're a traveler of the world.
you no
And
okay.
Shaq, you're a producer. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said it's all about how you reared and like who brought you in the game, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
obviously whoever influenced that artist, they told him it's about the beats. It's about the beats. You know what I'm saying? And expressed to him, and mind you, he's probably from the DMV. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's probably from DC, I should say.
No, he's not.
Where
He's
he
from
from?
the DMV. He's from the DMV actually,
Virginia,
and
Virginia or Maryland?
no PG County,
Maryland.
Maryland, PG County.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So he's definitely hearing it's about the beats. It's about the
Yeah,
beats. It's about the
my
beats.
right hand. Yeah,
You know.
I
So
be in the ear.
yeah. Okay. So when you hearing that, you don't put together the whole package. Like now, I'm gonna tell you like this. When before I now I like to say I'm the full package, but a lot of people have told me that when it comes to performing and things like that. But before I hit the stage, there was workshops that I went to. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? There was videos that I watched. There was
Mm-hmm.
training that I did. There was a lot of like practicing and things like that. Now that was all in zoning, you know, learning zones on the stage, learning timing, and
Mm-hmm.
knowing when to move, knowing which hand the mic should be in when you're looking to the left, when you're moving to the right. You know what I'm saying? Knowing at what time should you start focusing on the back of the
Yeah.
crowd. You know,
Mm-hmm.
your beats selection is graded in a scale from 1 to 5, and a lot of people don't understand that. And you have to say you never. There's rules to this. You never start off at a 1 or 2, and if you start off at a 5 and you know you're going to a 3, you got to drop them down to 5, 4, 3. You can't go 5-3,
5-1.
1. You
Motherfuckers
can't.
gonna walk out.
You can't do it. Like, and so what I was saying is like like I knew as an artist I wanted to like get a deal. You know what I'm saying? So when I came in, I didn't like just I didn't just dive off the diving board into the shark field. You know what I'm saying? I read what won't a shark eat? What colors will make you less likely to get bit by a shark? You know what I'm saying? And things like that. Like, how do you move? How do you swim? Which way do you go? Right?
Yeah.
Now, but let's just be real. We're in the era where everyone now is just diving. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
in the beginning, it's all about your core circle, your core nucleus. And because, like you said, in Atlanta or in Cali or in Florida, I've seen it where artists are walking in the studio, right? And artists are like, oh, bro, you should try this. Oh, that's hard. You should say this too. Oh, that beat right there would sound crazy. You'd be perfect on that beat. You know what I'm saying? But I've seen in the DMV where artists don't even want you in there when they recording. If you ain't on their set, if you ain't a part of their team.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
Like, it's like, why he here?
They're like, you cute and everything, but
they done,
you gotta go.
Yeah. They don't like it. They don't like it. Because at the end of the day, it's like a rat race to them. They look at it like a rat race as opposed to a pie. And that's why real artists don't be doing go-go and go-go don't do real artists. I never heard rock cartel. And like, trust me, I believe a lot of artists in the DMV are dope. One of my favorite artists that I used to love, like, okay, I'm gonna give y'all like a rundown of some of my favorite artists in the DMV that I used to like. See, you're naming artists that's already like popping and on and sign, right?
He just got on.
Yeah, but that's a good. And what I want to tell y'all about No Savage is perfect marketing strategy. Gunu, perfect marketing strategies. You see what I'm saying? Like, their teams behind them put budgets behind them after they created a certain, movement about themselves. They showed, look, I can play along with y'all, and they got themselves situated up to move. A lot of y'all artists don't understand. Like, all of them said, I can play in the sandbox.
Yeah.
Oh, I could do a track with him. Yeah, I could do a track with him. Yeah, I can jump. Yeah, let's do it. Let's work. Let's work. Let's work. And they get on. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the artists that I grew with watching, you know what I'm saying, while we were doing our thing, that I felt like could go to the next level. When I talk to them today, right? I get it now why they're not where I thought they should be. Right? And the funny part about it is, like, everybody knows when I started rapping in 2009, right? I said that in 2009, I said, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and focus on music and try to make this music thing happen. Around 2010, had a little doubt myself phase. Went back, doing working, depending on the system and the hamster wheel to take care of me, and really trying to look at it a different way. Because my mentor, he said to me, he said, it's not about moving. It's about using the system. And I went with that, and I said, all right, well, I'm going to use the system the way they use us. So I said, let me work, let me get on this hamster wheel. But what I was doing with my paychecks wasn't like paying my rent and paying my bills and things like that. It was like, oh, they said I definitely need to get Pro Tools, and I need to get this microphone, and I need to get this studio equipment. You know what I'm saying? I need to get
Mhm.
with this organization. I need to join them. I need to do this. All these things cost. I didn't have the money, you know? So I used the system to get these things, right? So when I got these things, I immediately quit my jobs. You know,
Mhm.
it's like, come on, I can't work. Like I'm not fit to work in the real man's system. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Mhm.
not there. You know what I'm saying? That's not why God made me.
Yeah.
So I did these things to be able to put myself in position. But at some point, I was able to where I got to the point where like, all right, I'm making music now. You know, I'm putting out albums now. I'm doing shows now. I'm thinking that these are the things to be an artist, right?
Mhm.
I'm like, this is what everybody told me I need to do. Get the beats, do the
Yeah.
shows, do the
Uh-huh.
shows, get the beats. You on,
That's
right?
it?
That's what I thought. You know, for years I was down in North Carolina, down in Florida, down in Georgia. You know, and everybody would say, well, where's your shows in DC? And I wasn't doing anything in DC. You
Mhm.
know, and everybody said, well, you got to win your city over. If you don't win your
Yeah.
city, you ain't gonna do nothing. I said,
Uh-huh.
oh man, I'm messing up. I said,
Mhm.
nobody told me that part. They just told me get the studio stuff, you know, get all this, learn this, go to Berkeley, boo boo boo, wah wah wah, right? They didn't
Mhm.
say win your city. So now my mental is like, oh, I gotta win the city, right?
Right.
But when I get to the city, I realize they like a certain sound. If you ain't that sound, they don't care, right?
Mhm.
So what did
Yeah.
I do? What did I do? What did I do? Like every good boy does. we,
Mhm.
we go back and we revamp. We practice. We get in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? It's like getting ready for a fight. Like I boxed and I played football. You know what I'm saying? I was a
Mhm.
quarterback. So like every night before game nights and shit like that, I look in the mirror and I have a little chant for myself, right? A little
Right.
motivational pep talk. Now as an artist, I just do that like all the time. I just speak to myself all the time, especially when I'm driving around. But I said I gotta win my city. They don't like me because I spend too much time trying to sound like the industry, and DC is not the industry, right? It, it's
Yeah.
it's not. They don't have any. They don't care what the industry sound is. They're DC
Mhm.
is DC sound, DMV sound, right? And what I realized was people were coming up from Virginia and they were bringing their musically inclined, you know what I'm saying, style. And then by
Mhm.
if they come back to a show like more than two times in a row, you realize their style changed, you know, from
Mhm.
that lyrically inclined music style to more
Mhm.
just the beat going crazy and saying a lot of words really fast, right? That's what they're
Mhm.
doing, right? So I started measuring these things. And mind you, like I said, y'all, I was on this hamster wheel for 6 years, right? For 6 years, and I'm doing this. I'm doing tours. I did 3 tours, and I'm sitting there
Mhm.
like, all right, something ain't giving. And then in 2016, I found myself back working again, right? And I was like, yeah, man, like this music is just like it's gonna always be here. But I need to like now, I need to now get on tour. I need to now um get money for clothes. I need to
Mhm.
now, you know, keep up with the times, right? You can't walk out in old shoes. You can't walk
Mhm.
out in your gear looking baggy, right? Because
Yeah.
for years I was like, I didn't, this didn't matter. But 2016 said, okay, we gotta figure this out. So you go to work, you now because you ain't making no money off music because all you're doing is the formula put in front of you based on the circle of people who don't know because they've already decided they're not industry.
Uh,
They're not going to pay you industry. They're not going to treat you industry. So that's what you get because you
mhm.
have already put in your circle what they told you is going to take for you to be what they want to accept, right?
Okay.
I mean, back in my day, everybody wanted to be with Diamond District, you know what I'm saying, and Slutty Boys and all them, right? And One
Mhm.
Way and all everybody wanted to be with them.
Okay.
But today, I sit here because of in 2016, 2017, when I'm having my situation, I'm like, damn, I'm not really making enough at work. I make more doing shows on my check. I mean, I make more doing shows and cash that I was making on my check. But I was still not getting what the industry was doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then 2017, like I told everybody, 2017, end of 2017, beginning of 2018, I decided to pick up a book.
Mm-hmm.
And like El Papito said, you know, they put it in a book because they know we ain't gonna look. They put
Mm-hmm.
everything on YouTube because that's what they want you, that's the direction they want you to go. Even
Yeah.
on my show, like I want you in this direction,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
Right.
unfortunately, I want you in a direction where at least like we all kind of running together. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like at least all like running to what we want because we artists or we entrepreneurs. We didn't get in this
Mm-hmm.
game. We didn't get into this. I don't care if you make clothes. You didn't get into this genre to say I want to be the biggest DC clothing line ever.
Yeah.
You saw Tom Ford. You saw Ralph Lauren, Polo, Versace, or whoever it is you looked up to, and you said, I want to do this. I want to compete on this level. I want to make these things. I know I got to start somewhere, but now everybody online, so we already know that y'all have already put into your minds. It's not about my city, right? It's not about the rules of that, but we have in our area have definitely chose to dumb it down to accommodate one city, DC, but because DC definitely, if you really from DC, you ain't allowing a nigga from Maryland to say he from DC. And you ain't allowing a nigga from Virginia to definitely he ain't getting away with it. You know? And like I said, I picked up this book and it changed my life. Right? It changed my life. I mean, like, and I could have been like some people and just held it to the chest, but I shared
Mm-hmm.
it because I want everybody's life to change.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't choose to read it, it's on you. You don't have to read it, but as long as you are applying things to your life to make it better than it was before, and not
Mm-hmm.
applying things to be on the hamster wheel, and for real, we already know. I'm just addressing the obvious. Everything that we doing and that we go through right now, we gotta go hard. Exactly. Hey,
Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't
I'm a
nothing wrong
DC
with
nigga.
that.
I
I
rep
like
Maryland.
Merlin.
I love
Merlin
Maryland.
cool. It's clean, and I like especially PG County because we have the wealthiest black people here. So
Like it's so interesting to me that it's so interesting to me that like my take. I want people to understand my take isn't about um not being from a area. My take isn't about this area isn't this or that. My take is the fact of we have to address the elephants in the room. We don't call ourselves the DMV for anything other than numbers, you know,
yeah,
and we're not we're not moving because we're focused on the ideas of one area, and that's the DC area
mm-hmm.
and the DMV area. And we're not focused on, we're all focusing on this way. Like everybody's focusing on this way, like going down to one area in the center instead of going this way and taking it out and expanding it to everybody. And it's very interesting to me that the argument even exists. I do find it intriguing. I do stand by my position. If that said area does not say it, then they're not from the DMV. I also stand by my area that, like you said, if it's not in that metro line, y'all, it's not the DMV.
Yeah.
As far as networking, if you support the DMV and you put into the DMV and you come here and you do business and you make sure other people are lucrative and expanding, then you can rep the DMV. Who made me in charge of who can rep the DMV? You
Who made
ask?
you in charge of representation of the DMV six?
Well, I gotta tell y'all, it was a long meeting, and I came out on top that I had to do it because everyone else is just playing with y'all. Like, I mean, like, no disrespect to anybody, right? No disrespect to anybody, but we have to focus on what we want for ourselves and where we want to go, right? Like, so if you're an artist asking yourself, how can I, even if it's just, how can I just not have to work and be able to just pay my bills,
Mm-hmm.
pay at least $2,500 a month in bills, just and not have to work and just focus on my music. Well, I'm telling you how, you know. Now, if you want to ask me, I'm not telling you how to have a mansion. I told y'all this months ago. I'm not telling y'all how to have a mansion. I'm not telling y'all how to be a multi-millionaire, although I am, wink, you know. But, but I'm telling y'all my experience. I mean, I'm only sharing y'all my story. Now, the funny part about it is it's my story following a path of other stories before me. It's kind of like the Bible, right? If you do everything in the Bible, you're going to heaven. I mean, everything that it says that you have to do to go to heaven in the Bible, of course. But you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
do all the bad stuff. But if you do everything that they say, do in the Bible, you're supposed to go to heaven. So in business, if you do everything that they say you have to do good, not the bad stuff, that is,
Mm-hmm.
then you're gonna get what you need to get. It's just pretty much plain and simple. If you add the bad stuff, then the bad things will happen. You know, and I've I've just like to share people's stories. I like to share what people say. Because people tend to talk to me a lot. You know, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Now, did you hear Quando Rondo performed again for the first time
Where in Atlanta?
in Atlanta?
No, what happened?
Well, no one showed up. That's what happened. Just crickets. More of his
You
mans was
lie.
more of his mans was on more of his mans was on stage than people was in the crowd. So only 50 people showed up, and they were expecting over 200 people, and it just didn't happen. The venue looked
Why
dead.
not?
Well, people were still scared of retaliation for what he did to King Von. Yeah. So that was a bad move. Now, Jezebel,
Six.
I want to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Batman carrying around Kryptonite just in case Superman gets out of line?
What is kryptonite?
So, Kryptonite is Superman's weakness. It's actually the only thing that can kill Superman. And Batman keeps a nice little stash of it just in case Superman gets out of line. There was a meme I posted where they were saying that Batman's a snake for that move and pretty much a dickhead for keeping a weapon that can kill his friend at any time. Now,
Why?
I was about to ask you, Jezebel, do you ever think that you need to keep a weapon just in case any of your friends get out of line, or would you ever keep any of their weaknesses around you just in case they get out of line? And do you think Batman's a jerk?
I think that you have to be a certain type of person to do something like that. Like, are you planning for something to happen, or like,
Well, yeah, Batman always planning. He always ready. I'm like, how's he? I want to know how would he administer it, but he's always ready. Cause did you watch the last Justice League movie?
no?
I
I
mean, you
haven't been
gotta
able to
watch it.
watch much of any TV recently. I'm
Well,
trying
yeah,
to catch up.
you gotta watch it because I'm trying to tell you, the Superman came back and beat the shit out of them. And he was down there about to kill Batman. So if Batman didn't have Lois Lane there, he would have died. So
Hmm.
I'm like, if that guy start kirking again, we need something to calm him down. Now
So maybe that's why he got that kryptonite.
it ain't like they sandbox buddies. It ain't like him and Clark grew up together. He was a Metropolis boy. He's an old Gotham City boy. The
Yeah.
things that Batman seen, I wouldn't put it past him. I would think Batman was a fool to not have something that can save the world. That's Batman. And if Superman started tripping, he needs something to stop him. That's what I say.
Yeah, nah, that's crazy. I need to watch it. I need to get up on my TV game. I
Man,
just
like
don't have time to watch TV anymore. It's like I really feel like it's so much stuff that I should be doing. Like it's hard to. It's like as soon as I get comfortable watching a show, I'm like, girl, you know, you got X, Y, Z, and a little bit of PQ to do. So I really can't add anything into my 3 limit show. Well, Snowfall's off now, so it's just Queen of the South and Blacklist and SVU right now, Chicago PD.
you're not giving the new Queen Latifah the Equalizer a shot?
Is that a movie?
TV show.
Does it involve crime and killing?
Yes.
Oh, well then I need to watch it.
Yes, definitely give it a shot. Now
Mm.
I've become to the point now. COVID has gotten me to the point where I don't watch any show until the season finale is over
Why?
because I usually only give myself about 1 day a month to just binge watch.
That's not enough time.
Well, for me, 10 hours that day is enough, right?
That's 10 shows.
Yeah, 10 shows, an hour long. I give myself 10 hours. I get up, I eat some breakfast, I roll up a lot of J's. I make sure I have my backwoods or my leaves prepared. I usually buy about a box, have about all of them ready. I roll up about 10 J's and I sit back and I watch. And by the time I get to the third episode, fourth episode, I roll up about 10 more, and then by then the day's over and I've binge watched and got caught up on the series. And then the next month, I do that with my next favorite show. Now, I only have about 3 shows that I really like. And because I realized the distance in between seasons, I don't like to wait. So I just wait until the time is right, binge on it. And then when it comes out again, it's like I didn't have to wait as long as everyone else.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna watch Black Lightning. Um, I'm going to also finish watching Life. I have to watch Life. That is the one with the lawyer. I have to give Winter Soldier and Falcon or whatever that is. I have to give that a watch. I wasn't impressed with the first 2 episodes, and I was like, I am not about to do this every week because I realized that they were going to do cliffhangers. So I said I was going to wait for that. Um,
Cliffhangers.
yes, cliffhangers is when the show be slow, then it start picking up the last 20 minutes, and then it goes off. I
Cliffhangers.
hate shows like that. I hate them with a passion. So I try to pick on that same day to also watch a movie. So that day, my whole day is usually like just TV shows and 1 or 2 movies, and the day's over. I've usually went through about a half an ounce, and it's been a good day. Usually on that day, I DoorDash it, and that's like my reward to myself for working so hard the whole month.
I can't. No. I need at least. See, that's why I be up to like 5 in the morning when I binge. But I got so many shows. I need like 60 hours. So
See, like I I have to be sleep by 3. If I'm not sleep by 3 o'clock in the morning, then I'm not going to sleep at all until the next day by 3.
Mm.
So that's
I ask you a question.
shoot.
I know you like to stay away from politics and all that other stuff. But it was two things that I really, really had. I just really, really got to get off my chest. Okay. Now you're a sports guy, right?
Yes.
I'm sure you heard about the Brett Favre situation.
No.
Okay, so basically, he stated that when he turns on the television, he don't think Derek Chauvin was really trying to kill George Floyd, and when he turns on the television, he just wants to watch football. Now, the reason I wanted to ask you this question is because oftentimes when we're watching some of our great shows, we don't want all of the riffraff in there. And do you think that someone is racist simply because they're insensitive to another culture's tribulations if they have nothing to do with that culture?
Wow. So honestly, yes, they are.
So if you see, so when Nigeria was going through SARS, and you was in between watching that Batman movie, and every 5 seconds the TV went, and then it just showed news going on in Nigeria, you wouldn't be bothered?
So honestly, no. And I like the fact that now TV has gotten to the point where they'll mute the show that you're watching, but they
Mm-hmm.
won't take it off the screen. And they'll start, they'll talk whatever they got going on and have the message going across the screen. And I
Mm-hmm.
also like how they'll let you know it's a breaking update when it's the game, like it'll be during a commercial break.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll take you back to the game. Like I get that alerts have to happen, and we're all watching TV at this time, and this is how we have to get it. But my thing isn't my thing isn't the basis that Brett Favre said or does not want to address that. My basis is the fact that that is not the first time Brett Favre has made some type of comment towards police injustice on black people. Right
Okay. Yeah, I'm
now,
not a
I
all of that.
also feel like this: anybody that can turn their eye now, social injustice and racial injustice is way different than world problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like a person annoyed with people keep on giving us an update on the water update in Flint, right? I can understand you're not caring about the water in Flint if you don't live in Flint. I can understand you not caring about the water in Syria if you don't live in Syria. It's like if you're not telling me that the water in my hometown is messing up, stop fucking alerting me. But I understand if you're telling me that the war is breaking out in Syria and bombs and shit are happening and planes are flying over. All right, people got to get interrupted a little bit, right? This is interesting. But when your position is, I don't believe that he meant to kill him, and I would like to just focus on football. Well, you're racist. And let me just tell it like it is, Mr. Brett Favre. Even if this was your first time putting your position on this, right? It's not what you believe. The man was found guilty in the court of the justice system. It ain't even fucking football season right now. So what are you talking about? And I don't care if you play for that great state of Minnesota and you want to try to like stop throwing a bad, you want to try to speak up for it because you played there or whatever the case may be, Brett. But uh, the problem with white people, if a white person does not step up and acknowledge they're the problem, right? Then they're part of the problem. I hate it, and I just told the wife this earlier. I hate it when I see white people wearing Black Lives Matters or saying Black Lives Matter stuff. Right?
Why?
Well, I would really rather see them wear something that addresses we need to understand Black Lives Matter. Right? I want their shirts to say we need to understand Black Lives Matter so that their people can see it. That's their stand, right? I mean, it looks like a goddamn merch. It looks like merch when I see it on a white person. It looks like no different than a Smithsonian museum. I went to the African Museum and got a shirt, guys. That's what it looks like to me when I see white people wear it. I mean, you get to say Black Lives Matter when the shit starts flying, when the cars start getting pulled over, when they're standing on necks and shit like that. You don't say anything. You you're not the voice of reason. You you don't go and you don't go and tap on your brother's shoulder and say you wrong. You don't
Mm.
go. You don't do that. But yeah, you want to come stand beside me and be like, they're wrong. They're wrong. You know why? Because they have scopes and they have sights. And they
Mm.
know when they start firing them things off and beating people ass, they're gonna be like, excuse me, boop. You got a
Mm.
black person beside you. But you're still safe. Your shirt is just a costume. So nah, of course. So I don't like Brett Favre officially today. I didn't like him when he played for the as he ended his career and went to the Jets. I didn't like him already. He was starting to stink up the place, you know. And me personally, when I like the fact that I am able to judge a person based on what they do, right? For a living. So Sanaa Lathan is an actress. I don't like her movies, and I don't like Sanaa Lathan. It is what it is. If she is a cool person in person, I don't know her in real life. I only know her roles that she takes, so I don't like her. Brett Favre, I only know him on the field. Don't like him. I didn't like him as a football player. Don't care for him as a talker. So I only know him as a football player, and I'm gonna rate him as that, and not his decisions on what he said out of his mouth. And I understand that he could be going through some CTE stuff, so he could be liable to say anything because that man stayed concussed more than
Don't give
anybody.
him no reason to use that excuse. But next in news is Dr. Umar. Are you familiar with Dr. Umar Johnson?
Yeah, man, he is so fake to me.
Why?
Now, what was you about to say about him, though?
Okay. All right. So upon watching Dr. Umar's interview with the Breakfast Club, I am a huge fan of Dr. Umar Johnson. Okay.
Yeah,
And majority of his views. One thing that stuck out to me that in my own personal space, I've been feeling this way. I like him because he says all the things that I be feeling.
right.
So he was talking about Kamala. Well, he was talking about Joe Biden, but my views is based on Kamala. So I watched an interview before the election where she said that there is no way that they can create a bill or a law specifically for African American people or a specific group of people, right? So my question to you is, with that being said, how do you feel about them the first day in office creating that transgender bill, which is specifically for a specific group of people, and also then again creating another bill and law that protects Asians and Pacific Islanders against violence from the people? If we can't create laws for a specific group of people, and I know you don't really like
No,
politics, but
and listen, like honestly, although I do stand by position, I don't like Umar or whatever, right?
I love them.
I do agree with a lot of his positions, right? Now, this let me first address the question. He is 1000% correct in everything that he said, right? Because it's amazing that for years that's all we've been hearing. We can't, right? But
Mm-hmm.
like I told everybody, like I said at the beginning of this show, our show, although we talk about music, it still correlates to real life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because where for years we was hearing we can't, we're learning we can. it's
Mm-hmm.
it's paperwork. Wait a
Yeah.
minute. uh, Even a law is all about having the right paperwork. Oh my god. So not only is your music and how you live and get paid, your business is how you live, how you get paid, but this world is how we live and how we get paid based on paperwork. right? So now I look at this daggone bill and I'm like, oh, so now that we learning that we can, here's why I have a problem with Mr. Johnson and why I say he's fake. Because I shouldn't hear when you're in a position, your position shouldn't be used to complain about why. Your position should be used to implement a plan and get stuff done. Now, you're on the Mr. Johnson is definitely on the level where he can get officials and elected people to make moves. And he's in a position where he can get people behind certain bills. And now that you have openly witnessed and addressed that these things can be done, where's the motion now? What is the
Nobody
plan?
likes him. Nobody likes the truth.
Because not only that though, right? Nobody likes a person who throws flames on the fire and watch other people put it out or watch it burn.
Now, what do you mean by that?
So, like, he brought this to our attention. You know, let's just say he's the first person to even address this, to acknowledge and make it aware. He brought this to our attention, but now he's waiting for someone else to step in and do something.
No, he called out the Black Panther. He called out the
exactly.
No, because these are people that are in higher positions than him. What he can do, all he does is talk to us to wake us up, to show us, like, hey, this could be this way, or look at this. So, for instance, one of the main things that he said, and I'm gonna get off of Dr. Umar right quick, is he said feed, finance. He said feed, finance, teach, and take care of the people. Right. He said we need to have Black hospitals. We need to have Black banks. We need to have Black supermarkets and Black schools to educate our kids. Now, the reason why a lot of people don't like Dr. Umar is because he's been working on this school forever, asking for money. Nobody sees where the money goes. So at that point, people stop listening to him. So this past interview that he did, which I really liked, is because he said, I don't even really need the money. I need a Black engineer or a plumber to just donate. You don't even have to be Black. A plumber or an engineer, just donate your time so we can get this school up and running. And I'm waiting. And I'm looking to see all the people that don't like him, which engineer, which plumber is going to help him get this school up and running. Now, LeBron did it with no problems. You know why?
Because he funded it himself.
Well, of course, he got the money. What does Dr. Umar don't have that money? He's just a Pan-African over here preaching to the people, trying to get shit up and running.
That's my point, though, right? That's my point.
He's an educated instigator.
And that's my point, right? See, LeBron is the type of person who sees a fire and put it out, right? He saw that there was no schools. He saw that there was no opportunities, so he created them. Just even with, but that's what he does in sports. He sees his friends can't win rings. He says, "Come play with me. I got you." Right? He sees a problem and he fixes it. Dr. Umar is a person who sees a problem and yells in the back, yells, "Fire! Fire! Fire! Don't put it out! The Black Panthers help me!"
But he got
all my NAACP.
But he don't even have the water to put it out himself.
No, but that's my whole point. Like,
he can't do it by himself. I wish a lot of these Black leaders like Tamika D. Mallory and T.I. and Killer Mike and all them people, well, why don't they all come together and say, hey, Umar, I don't like that you haven't opened the school, but you got a good point here. Let's come together and do something.
My thing is this, right? My thing is this. He don't got enough money to open up a major institution like LeBron. But he got enough money to open up a K-6 little daycare facility.
That's what he's trying to do. He needs a plumber and an engineer.
No. Come on. He don't need. He needs to employ these people. He needs to stop.
He don't want to pay them. He just wants the community. Just think about Spanish people. Think about every other culture. He said if he was Asian or Spanish, he would have to ask for the money. These people would come together to see this happen for the betterment of the people.
You know why? And this is crazy, but this is why Asians and Hispanics and things like that will come together to make a thing happen, right? Because they came here on their own willingness.
You right.
You know what I'm saying? So now when they come over here, they're coming over here in groups that have to stay together to survive. We didn't come here willingly, and we don't have our own people supporting us in our own backyard. Now, I don't know Dr. Umar Johnson, but what was the last black campaign he got on? Right? When was the last? Did he help LeBron get that school up and running with the little bit of things he had? He wanted an all-black school. He could have been a part of that. They could have all worked on that together. You know? But it seems to me that he wants to be just his own little beacon. That's why I don't like him like that. Now, I'm like, for one, because you can start something small. You can start small. You can start doing. You can do a school just for teens. You could be a school just for this. You know what I'm saying? You could be an online school offering these things in other ways. If you really see a problem, don't sit up there and complain that they did this, they did that. Because, like I said, now we see that there's a bill in effect, right? So if there's a bill in effect, that ain't about black people no more. That ain't about anybody else. That's about now attacking our government. And you have enough juice to do that because that's just pens and papers and signatures. Right? So I don't care if you got to put together a Umar Johnson convention just to get signatures. But if you now obviously know that if we get enough of these signatures, they have to make it a bill. And
That's from the Senate and the House, I think, and that's what his issue was. He said it's bills that's been written out, though, sis. That's they're waiting that they're not passing because of the votes. But what he's saying is when it came to protecting the Asian community, stop the hate, like Black Lives Matter have been going on for years now. They just started the stop Asian crime or something, or Asian hate, stop Asian hate or something like that. And he's saying within a year, not even that long, within a few months, they signed a bill to protect Asian people, but here they won't protect the black people.
Again, that's because Asians, Latinas, and any other race besides black people chose to be here. So, since they chose to be here, they're going to protect them so that more of them can choose to be here. We did not choose to be here. So, they're not going to protect us. It's sad because it's like property, right? If you buy your girl a puppy, right? And she didn't ask you for a puppy, but you just bought her a puppy because you're like, I want to surprise my girl and get her a puppy. You walk into the blind. She may like the puppy. She may take care of the puppy. She may walk the puppy. She may not walk the puppy. She may wait for you to come through, feed the puppy, shit like that, right? But now you got your girl that's been begging you for a puppy. I want a puppy. I want a puppy. Please, please, please. You bring her that puppy. She fucking around love the puppy more than you. Give her the puppies kisses, let her sleep in the bed, got a little snacks and clothes and shit for the motherfucker. Don't even buy you clothes, but buy the puppy everything in the world, right? So that's how it is in America. Black people, we are those pets that just came in to play. Nobody asked for us. Like they needed us, and now it's like they're useless. They're no longer useless. We're useless to white America now. We can't be slaves. We can't be slaves. We can't be forced to work and go fight anymore. We're all just little smart nigglets running around now. So hello. They're like, man, let them figure it out. If the damn law didn't get passed when a black man was president, it ain't gonna never get passed.
Yeah. And that's what Umar was saying too.
They ain't gonna never get passed. They're gonna protect the Chinese people. They need that good Chinese food and fried rice. Listen, they're not gonna let them. They're not gonna mess with the food. They're not gonna mess with the fruit. You know what I'm saying? The Spanish people, they're not gonna fuck with the fruit coming over here. Niggas ain't going to get the fruit no more. They're not fucking with that. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to fuck with the clothes. They're not going to fuck with the tech. So they're not going to make the Chinese people mad. So all our iPhones can turn into Androids. They're not going to do it. You know? They're not going to do it. It's just not going to do it. So, I mean, until we as black people level up and start applying the same pressure in businesses, applying the same pressure on the market and how things work in the ecosystem, then hello.
Shit out of luck.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can keep making movies where we're the rocket scientists and we're the leaders of the new school and things like that. But the future is coming, guys, because the panic is real. The panic is real. Like, black people, we won't have too long to worry because soon we will be up. And when that time comes, let's just say, when that time comes, you got to be ready because it's like a little wheel. It's going to move slow as it moves to get to us, but eventually it's going to get back. And the same way that we numbered up and gallied up while that wheel was rolling and while we waited for it to come around to us, they're going to
Mm-hmm.
do the same thing. Galley up, number up, squad up, and strategize and see where they went wrong and try to figure it out and try to take it all back. And we got to be just smart enough to where they realize, look, we can stop it and make it one big pie and not one big spinning wheel that you got to catch your pot on. So, yes, indeedy. We are the comfort animals.
Oh, he
True
said
indeed.
we are to come for animals until they heal up and then turn us back in. I am having the hardest time. So let me tell you. Oh, you already did the Huffington Post. I was say so. Let me tell you because I had this new plug or whatever, and I ain't mad. But he got finals. He gonna text me talking about something. I got finals this week. The stores. What he say? The store is closed. I got finals this week.
Oh,
I need to get my shit together. I want to say so, but I told him study hard. So my little cheap ass, good ass plug right now is out of commission, and I'm going through the motions.
really?
Cause I was just smoking good in Puerto Rico. Maybe I need to go back.
Well, you know what? We need to send Jezebel a kite. Y'all
Yeah.
send Jezebel a kite. One of y'all that got gas now. I don't want y'all huffies. Did you see my post that I said I want to start buying everyone that sells me huff? I want to buy them a huffy bike.
A huffy bike?
Yeah.
What is a huffy bike?
That's a
A
bike brand.
bicycle?
Yeah, it's a bicycle. I'm gonna buy them a huffy bike and tell them they can deliver their huff on a huffy bike.
Oh. No.
That's gonna be that's what I'm gonna start giving all the bad dealers. But we got to get somebody, get a kite out, Jezebel. I'm gonna send you some people that you can contact up there in the DMV.
Please, cause I need
Yeah.
some, y'all. If y'all got some good gas, like hit me up, please. I'm on the northern side of Maryland, so that would be like in the Hyattsville, going towards Baltimore area. Yeah.
Wait, are you in Baltimore?
No, I said northern Maryland, so I'm like in between Hyattsville and Baltimore, College Park.
Is that the DMV?
It definitely is. I'm 15 minutes away from DC, baby.
All right, all right, all
And
right.
I want a green line. I want
Oh
a green
yeah,
line.
that's definitely DMV where you definitely need to watch yourself. Duck, hide, juke, jive. Now I ain't gonna lie to y'all. My Facebook going off. I'm sorry, old book is going off. Someone has tried to call my phone. Hello,
Say
puppy.
hey guys.
At this
Bye
time,
guys.
I must
Yeah.
tell y'all, I just smoked. So y'all saw me earlier smoke the gizmo, and that was the first time me having it, and I loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. I had one J, and I only wanted to smoke the one J so that I can actually feel the effects for the last hour of the show, and it's very good. So at this time, Jezebel, what do you have for us this week?
This week I'm gonna be gone again because my birthday is on Thursday, so I will be out of town. I'm leaving on Wednesday, and I'll be back on Saturday.
So Jezebel's Fried Friday will be a birthday edition, but
It
that we
it
won't
should
see
be.
her.
I'm trying to find out some things, like, but I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do that because, yeah, it includes you though. That's the thing. So I gotta figure it out before I tell you what it is.
All right, let me know. I'll
Yeah.
be on waiting. For me, guys, I will be rocking out the rest of the week, enjoying the rest of this newfound week of another lap around the earth. I did take it faster, it seemed, this time because of COVID, but I will be cooling. I will be talking a lot of smack on Old Book if you guys want to look me up. And also check out some music on my Spotify. Now, at this time, I know you're down to your ashes, flicking off your roaches, and getting ready to roll up another one. Because I definitely am. And we out.
Oh, bye, y'all. Thanks for watching.